In my personal opinion, one of the nicest advancements in Anime Studio Pro 10 is the ability to work on multiple documents simultaneously. This can be for workflow reasons where you would actually want to develop different clips for a point in time, or if you wanted to do a sanity check between documents, this is a great way to do it. So you don't have to shut one down and then open one up, which was the method that you had to use before with Anime Studio Pro. One thing I like about it is that in addition to the sanity checks, you can go ahead and copy resources from one file to another, but that does come with some limitations, and so I wanted to discuss why those limitations exist and how to deal with them. In front of us here is one of the scenes that auto-loads when you launch Anime. These characters are available through the library palette, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. But first of all, let's create multiple documents to work between. I'll come up to File, New. We get a new document. Well, what if I had a resource in this one that I would want to take to the other? Well, let's create a resource and do that. I'll come down to Layer, Vector, which is our drawing layer here. We won't name it anything. I'll come over to the Shape tool on the left-hand side, and I will simply draw, let's do a triangle. Now, if I had done some styling, if it had a special brush outline that was fuzzy and I had a color gradient going in here, I might want to just repurpose all that to a new document without having to save a file and then import styles, all those types of things. One of the easiest ways to do that is to actually just copy the shape and take it into a new document. So to do that, with this selected, I can go ahead and come up to Edit, Copy. When I go to the new document, I can go Edit, Paste. And it comes in the exact same location as it was in the previous document. So if you're working on a project, you want to make sure that, of course, the output intents, the file size, or I should say the rendering size, is consistent between the documents if you want exact placement. Likewise, if we had created some custom styles over here by choosing the Advanced tab, working on styles and saving them off, those two would import, and that's a nice feature as well. But let's come back here and do something else. Let's come down to our monster layer. And with that selected, you would think with the layer highlighted right here that I could go ahead and copy everything into the scene. In fact, if I do a Select All, we'll copy this, and then I'll come over here to Untitled. We come back to Edit, and I choose Paste. Nothing happens. Well, what's going on here? Well, that's a limitation of the program that I wanted to make you aware of and discuss one of the reasons that they may have decided to do it this way. If you're working with basic shapes like this, where you would have some styles applied to it, that data is comparatively simple to what you have when you have an entire character with animations over time. So you can't take something this complex and copy and paste it into a new document. Now there's a way to get it into a new document, so let me show you how we would do that and why we would deal with that. This character is available in the library. If we come to the upper right-hand corner, click on our Library tab there, we get our modal dialog box. It opens up to Characters. We come to Characters, Anime Studio Pro 10. Here's the monster. If we double-click on this, well, it looks like nothing happens, but we see that another monster has been added to the scene. It's coming in the exact same location as this one, and the only way we would see that is by coming down to the Layer tool and dragging the layer that the monster's on now over a little bit. With that done, if I select the other monster layer, then we see that one that we had highlighted by selecting all. We come back to this one. Well, that's what's going on there, but here is why you can't transport the characters back and forth, or maybe a good reason why you can't do that. If we close this up and come to a character that's a little more fully developed in terms of animation application, we come down to Other Characters and choose something like Lightning. I'll double-click on him. Well, look, he doesn't load into the scene right away. And it's because we've got the ability to see our character from multiple views. Inside this library file is the same character that has been drawn, rigged, and animated from different perspectives. We can bring in all of them, we can bring in only one of them. That's the important thing in working with characters, is that for any character with another feature that we'll work with later on, you can actually embed animations and behaviors. So if we want him to blink a certain way through the entire animation, well, we create that blink once in a master character file. We save it into the library under My Characters, which we can do if we scroll up to this. And then you can bring that same character in with all that hard work that you put in and use it over and over again and save yourself a ton of time. But there is so much information, I'll click Cancel out of this, so much information with the characters that we've got with keyframes, the ability to bring in different types of views and all those types of things, The program doesn't let you bring in, or I should say it doesn't let you paste from one document to another. The safest route, it's like an emergency backup, is going ahead and saving the character and all the hard work into your library and then bringing it out into a new document. So for basic shapes and things like that, items that you would work with, yep, those make the jump no problem. But as far as multiple documents go and complex characters, use the library to make that happen.